Hey guys, how's it going? Rubik's Master here, and today we're going to be doing a daily raid video. So I did do the level 40 base a couple times, and the rewards increase exponentially. So if I were to attack this time, I would actually get 119 common cards, 109,000 metal, but it would cost me 14,000 oil. So the common cards, I don't know, the common cards are probably worth it if you're trying to strive for those upgrades. But I'll do a actual video on the level 40 base tomorrow, or maybe the following day. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to waste 2,000 oil scouting this base, try and come up with a platoon to destroy the level 30 base, and that's going to be that. So I am sorry that I did for about 2 weeks straight. I was doing really well with posting a morning video and an evening video. The morning video being something more story driven, like like the Stranger Things game, which is really awesome, and if you haven't played it, you should. But, work has prohibited me from being able to do that recently. Man, it's late. I'm sorry, guys. But I'm hoping to get into that again very soon. Until then, bear with me, guys. I may miss a day here and there, but I'm going to try my best to get your War Commander videos out. So, looking at this base, honestly, nothing has changed. We've seen this base several times before. We have Humvees, more Humvees and S-13s, more Humvees. Wait, what is that? Oh, Abrams. We have an Abrams coming out of there. And we have this little pesky dude over here that some people forget about. You have the howitzer that kind of blocks you off right there that you have to worry about. Now, we do have these helicopters here. So, in trying to figure out what would best suit taking out this base, you kind of have to look at how much damage you're going to sustain. So, this transformer is almost negligible. It's boosting 4 separate turrets, so it's, what, level 3? Or level 2, that's even better. Speed boost plus 55%. But split between those four defense platforms, the boost isn't going to be that bad. So, if you were to attack this with a typical platoon of Rhinos and Humvees. Do I have that platoon available to me? I have this platoon. You know what? I'll probably use this platoon just for funsies. This is a lot more practical platoon. You would use a lot in regular attacks. But if you were to use a Rhino / Humvee platoon, which is what I typically used when I attacked this base during the events, you would hit it with the howitzer first, and then you would just want to make sure that as you enter, not the howitzer, the railgun, but you would want to make sure as you enter this base to keep your tanks spread out a good ways in front of you to attract all the fire of all these machine gun turrets, because these individual machine gun turrets may be level 2, but they're, all combined, they can wreck Humvees pretty well. So you want to make sure your Rhinos are in a really good position to absorb all the damage. But we're going to be doing the more slow and steady route with our level 10 Abrams and 8 level 5 M270s, along with some Zeuses. The Zeuses, this is a standard platoon I use. The Zeuses are really good at taking out defending units, but in this base I don't really even have to worry about that. So, here's what's going to happen. I'm going to test something. I'm going to try and take out that railgun with M270s before the railgun fires. So there's no promises here. I may lose some railguns, I may lose some M270s and take some damage. Okay, what is it doing? Why did it do that? There we go, we got it though. We got it. We just took a little damage from that machine gun turret because I deployed a little too close. We're going to select all and have them deploy. So we have our, man, excuse me guys. So we have our defenses all up and ready to go. So we have more Abrams coming from... Oh, no, don't want to abort. So Abrams are all we have coming from there, so here's what we can do. We can take these bad boys and go ahead and just send them traipsing into the base, right? So we're going to have... Well, no, we're going to have these bad boys just move up into here. Alright, so they got attacked anyway. That's no big deal. It's just the one, right? We're going to select our Zeuses. Hopefully have our Zeuses take those bad boys out. Alright, here we go. Yeah. This is where it's all testing. Oh, we got that railgun. Railgun's hitting us. So what I'm going to take my Abrams, I'm going to put them on that machine gun turret. I'm going to turn the AI on my Zeus. Hopefully they'll clean up those infantry while I worry about these machine gun turrets. We've only lost about half of one Abram. And that's cool stuff, right? There we go. So this is pretty much in the bag. I'm about... Oh, hold on. I got a helicopter I didn't see. And my Zeuses aren't doing anything about it. So, I mean, it is what it is. I just got to take the damage while my Zeuses come. Alright. There we go. So what we're going to do, we're going to select just that Abram. Let's nab that real quick. We're going to select just the full health Abram. And what we're going to do, we're going to select it to attack that infantry. Then we're going to select our M270s. Have them come. And we're going to target them on the howitzer. What's going to happen, the howitzer is going to be focused on the Abram. It's going to get a little area of effect on the M270s, but that's not that big a deal. But by the time... Oh, there we go. Easy peasy lemon squeezy, right? So I will do a low level attack on this later on. But basically, if you don't have M270s, just use rocket buggies. Or S13s. I actually prefer S13s, though rocket buggies are easier to keep alive. With a smaller unit capacity, because I know if you're a lower level, I still have a platoon that only has 1,000 capacity, and the next one down 800 capacity. If you have 800 capacity, just make sure you front load those tanks. Those tanks have got to absorb all your damage, and you got to have enough to do it. Depending on the level of your Abrams versus Rhinos, just take the ones that have the best health, because that base, it's all about being slow and methodical and making sure your tanks are absorbing all that damage. As a daily raid, you're only going to be doing 3, so the oil upfront cost of a little over 2,000 that I just paid isn't really that big a deal, in addition to the oil cost and repairs, but you still don't want to go in there and get like a 5,000 oil repair. You don't want to do that. That's just way too much to spend for a few common cards. You got to be smart about it and develop a good strategy. But hopefully sometime this week I'll come out with a video on... There we go, got that, boys. On how to attack that base with 800 unit capacity using like tier 1 units. So maybe Rhinos and S13s. Or if I'm feeling really bad about it, I'll use rocket buggies. So 897 damage done, and that's with being a little bit sloppy and taking some damage on my M270s, and, you know, letting that top railgun hit my Abrams. That's where pretty much all that damage came from. You want to avoid using your airstrikes. As a lower level, you may have to use your airstrikes a little strategically to take out the higher damage areas, but if you use airstrikes, it's going to drastically increase your repair cost. So I've been yammering on really quickly here. I'm sorry, it's late at night and I'm super tired. Bottom line is, if you're same level than I am, I just showed you a less than 1,000 cost way to attack that base. Even less if you do better than I did, which you can with the same platoon. If you're lower level than I am, just use the same proportions. So, you know what? Here, guys, I'll show you real quick. I'll show you really... Actually, hold on. Let's use this platoon over here. Let's just get rid of everything, and I'll build it from scratch. And I'll show you what I'm talking about with all the health. All right. So you need your tanks to front load the health, right? So looking at Rhinos, my level 10s have 21,000 health. My Abrams have 39,000. So 18,000 more health. But if you can only use Rhinos, you can only use Rhinos. But use whatever has the most health. So let's say I only have 800 capacity to deal with. Let me think about this a little strategically, because I also need to take out those Cobras. You cannot ignore those Cobras, especially with your tanks. Those Cobras will kill your tanks very, very quickly. So S13s take up 75 space. So let's just, toss a few in here. We're going to toss 4 in there. Toss 4 in here. That gives us 100 space to work with, right? So even with the more DPS I had, you saw I still had almost half health left on that one Abram, and that's even with the helicopter just sitting there killing it for a little while. So with 100 space, if you have a sniper, you can throw a sniper in there to take out those helicopters, or you can throw in, a couple Humvees. S-13s can take out helicopters, but it's going to take a little longer, and once you target the helicopter with an S-13, the helicopter will start killing your S-13s. So maybe throw in a couple Humvees to help with that. Well-rounded platoon. Here we go. See, it is what it is. 800 unit capacity, so you have one Abram, 8 S-13s, and 2 Humvees. You could even take out 2 S-13s, just keep 6. That deals a decent amount of damage, and throw in a couple more Humvees. You just gotta work and find what works best for you. But anyway, hope this was a little bit informative, and hope you enjoyed it. And until next time, y'all have an awesome day.